As the Executive Director of Gun Owners of America, I want to say I am so pleased for our organization to be here to celebrate Dick Heller today. Because 10 years ago today was a great day for freedom. On that day, the highest court in this land recognized the individual right to keep and bear arms. Give it up for the court, that's right. A lot of times they get it wrong, but they got it right that day in many, many ways. GOA, of course, was very supportive of Dick Heller's efforts. We submitted an amicus brief on his behalf in this landmark case because we knew there was the potential that this was going to be a total and complete game changer. And boy, was it. Remember that before the Heller decision, anti-gun liberals claimed, like a lot of these probably out here still believe, these hecklers, that there was no individual right to keep and bear arms. Remember when they used to say that? Remember how they said that right only existed for the military and police? Boy, were they wrong. They also claimed that the court had never stated that the Second Amendment protected an individual right. Well, the Heller decision spent dozens of pages, dozens, laying out the historical and legal case for the right to keep and bear arms. On page after page, the court demolished the left's legal position and documented just how wrong their position was. Before Heller, you had several localities that had gun bans, and the anti-gun left said, oh, that was consistent with the Second Amendment. In fact, GOA defended a man before the Heller decision who was from Oak Park, Illinois. This man was a gas station owner living in an area that had a complete gun ban. He was a gas station owner who had been robbed at gunpoint 5 times. Tell me, how is gun control working for you then? 5 times. Finally, one day, he had a gun with him. He shot back at the guys who were robbing him. The robbers got away, but imagine his surprise when the police show up and it's him that they arrest for having an illegal gun. Thankfully, GOA was able to work with him and help him get acquitted, but it took a lot of time, money, and effort to do that. And that is the beauty of the Heller case. Because of the Heller case, that's what makes this so important, because it set in motion a series of events where Oak Park, Illinois eventually repealed their own gun ban because of the Heller case. Other gun laws fell as well, not the least of which was the gun ban here in Washington, D.C. Thank God, no longer will people like Rebecca Griffin have to fear using a gun in self-defense. Do you remember her story? Rebecca was a D.C. resident. And when her daughters were about to be executed one day in her home because they had witnessed a murder, Rebecca heard a commotion downstairs. She grabbed her gun, which was illegal at the time under the laws of the district. She flew down the stairs, shot at both of those thugs, and saved her daughters' lives. Now, you would think that would be great news. A good gal with a gun stops 2 bad guys. Sadly, her nightmare was not over because she had to prepare to defend herself against the legal system. And that's what's crazy. No one should have to defend themselves for owning a gun for self-defense. No one. And thanks to Dick Heller, people like Rebecca Griffin no longer have to live with that fear. But let me tell you this, even though there were some good things that resulted from this decision, I will tell you that the Heller decision is kind of like what Martin Luther King Jr. had to say about the Declaration of Independence. He called it the Great Promissory Note and the Heller decision is like that, because there are a lot of judges in this country that are totally disregarding what the Heller decision has to say. And they're doing it because the pro-gun majority in Heller totally decimated what the anti-gun left had to say. The court said, the Second Amendment protects an individual right. The court said, resisting tyranny is a primary purpose of the Second Amendment. The court said the Second Amendment protects modern firearms, not just muskets. Amen. Look, these are all good holdings, which we get because of a tireless advocate for freedom, Dick Heller. I remember the first time I met Dick, he told me that even though he and his wife didn't have any children, this was his legacy. This is what he was doing for the next generation, and what a legacy that is. We are very thankful to Dick Heller for all he has done. But not so the anti-gun liberals who are out there. Oh no. They hate the Heller decision. Immediately after the justices handed down their decision 10 years ago, do you remember Mayor Adrian Fenty? He predicted that crime would go up here in the district, that the murder rate would go up here in the district because there would be now more guns in the district. Well, he was completely and totally wrong. Right now, there are more than 100,000 people who own guns in the D.C. That's according to CBS News. And the murder rate in Washington has dropped 35% in the ensuing years. We are safer, not more dangerous. The exact opposite of what Mayor Fenty predicted has actually happened. How about Senator Dianne Feinstein? She also predicted that the residents here in the D.C. area would be less safe. She was wrong. Look, that right there should be the biggest indicator that their theory is wrong. Their theory, which says more guns means more crime. Because when they predict that crime is going to go up, but it actually goes down, what does that tell you about their understanding of reality? They don't. Zero, right? Listen to Dick Heller. Zero. They don't understand human nature. They don't understand that bad guys will always get guns and that bad guys will always prefer gun-free zones, right? They always seek out places where guns are illegal for the same reason that they don't go shoot up police stations and gun shows, because they want to be the only one with a gun. The gun control lobby gets it constantly wrong. But let me tell you just one area where the gun lobby gets it right. President of the Brady campaign predicted that the Heller case, thanks to Dick Heller, would embolden gun rights activists to challenge gun control laws. And he was right. That is exactly what's happened. Justice Stephen Breyer, one of the dissenting judges on the court, said that the Heller decision, thanks to Dick Heller, threatens to throw into doubt the constitutionality of gun control laws throughout the United States. And he was right, too. One month and 2 days after the Heller decision, Morton Grove, Illinois, unilaterally repealed their own gun ban. Several more gun bans would fall from coast to coast. Some were repealed voluntarily, others would fall after they were taken to court. Of course, the Heller decision was also instrumental in setting the table for the McDonald decision in 2010, a decision that made it clear no state or locality can infringe lawfully upon the Second Amendment protected rights of the people. So that's when the Chicago ban was repealed. That's when Wisconsin and Illinois got their concealed carry laws. Gun control rights and laws have been advancing in many states, and many lives have been saved. Ironically, we know that lives are being saved because of the Obama administration, which told us in 2013 that guns are used 16 to 100 times more often to save life than to take life. Guns are saving lives. We see it time and time again. A firefighter stops a potential mass shooting in a South Carolina school. A doctor ends one at a Pennsylvania hospital. A husband on a date with his wife stops a mass shooter in a Texas bar. An Uber driver in Chicago stops a mass shooting on a busy street corner before even one person can be injured. A woman with a concealed carry permit worshiping in a church in Colorado stops a man who enters the church with 1,000 rounds of ammunition strapped to him. He's hoping to commit the biggest mass shooting in American history, and she stops him in his track. Not one person that day was killed inside the church except the bad guy. That's how you do it. Guns are saving lives every day. Let me conclude with this. During the 1800s, there was a famous saying, God made man, but Samuel Colt made everyone equal. Well, in 2008, Dick Heller upped the ante because he made sure that every gun owner is now equal under the law. So Dick Heller, thank you for your commitment to freedom. Thank you for your tireless efforts, and thank you for helping preserve our rights for the next generation. Thank you, sir.